Okay, welcome back to channel. So we're going to be talking about what to do when you're falsely imprisoned on the false accusation of another person. So generally, this will under this discussion, we're talking about the thought of false imprisonment, which occurs or which means a situation when a person is unlawfully restrained by arrest, confinement, or prevention of movement from a particular place. So basically, it's an act of the defendant which intentionally or negligently confines the movement of the claimant to an area defined by the defendant. All right. Now, it should be noted that false imprisonment is actionable per se and must occur as a result of the direct act of the defendant. There are some ingredients in the thought of false imprisonment, and these ingredients will help you know whether or not you will succeed. All right. Now, the ingredients really shows the things that must be present before you can say this was an act of false imprisonment. False imprisonment is actionable, and in fact actionable per se. That is to say, once it occurs, you don't even need to give two thoughts about it. You can bring an action on it and succeed if the ingredients are complete. Now, number one thing you should note is the issue of the knowledge of the claimant. Now, false imprisonment can occur whether or not the claimant, the person that was falsely imprisoned, was aware that he was falsely imprisoned. There is this English case where a Lord Justice Lord Atkin, said a person can be imprisoned while he is asleep in the case of drunkenness, while unconscious, or while he's a lunatic. So what that means is, even if I don't know that I am being imprisoned, the moment I get to know, I can bring an action. So for example, I'm sleeping in my house, somebody comes and locks the door to ensure I don't leave the house for a period of time. He's detaining me there. I'm not aware, I'm just sleeping. But when I get to know, I can bring an action against him for false imprisonment. All right. Now, the next one is the character of the act. So there must be total or complete restraint such that there is no means of escape. Right. So if the door is closed and the windows are open, that can be false imprisonment because you can easily go through the window. And the windows are closed and the doors are open, that also can be false imprisonment because you can easily go through the door. All right. So that was the case. There was a case in also an English case, in the case of Marine and Graham White Aviation Company Limited. Right, so the court has held that to qualify for false imprisonment, the area of confinement, right, should be one that has been fixed by the defendant and there's no reasonable way of escape. Okay. In the case of Baird and Jones, the plaintiff was prevented from crossing a particular bridge. He was, however, allowed to go through another route. So that wasn't enough to qualify as false imprisonment. So that is one very important ingredient. So don't say, oh, they didn't allow me pass this route, but there's another route to pass through. If you fail to pass through that route because they blocked the other route, you can't come to claim false imprisonment. All routes must be blocked. The next ingredient is the state of mind of the person who detained you, of the defendant. So this means that to prove false imprisonment, the defendant must intend to do the act which resulted in false imprisonment. So if somebody mistakenly locks the door without knowing you are there, you can't say that's false imprisonment. Okay. So if a person is imprisoned even with a good intention, there would still be a liability for false imprisonment. So even if you say, oh, I imprisoned him because he has been behaving anyhow, I just want to keep him in check, you can still be liable for false imprisonment. All right. Now, in the case of R versus Governor of Brook Hill Prison, Expertise Evans, number 2, was an English case. The time of imprisonment of a convict was wrongfully calculated. Thus, the convict spent extra time in prison. It was held that this resulted in false imprisonment. So don't go and falsely imprison somebody because you can be liable for it. And if you have been falsely imprisoned, looking at all the ingredients, you can bring an action to exercise your right and you'll be entitled to damages. If this discussion has been helpful to you, please click on the subscribe button, like the video, make your comments, and you can also tell us the next topic you want us to talk about in subsequent release. Thank you.